when I'm carrying my halter, what I do is I put my palm up through the noseband with the tail away from me. And then I put over like that, okay? And then I get this. I get it like this and I just drape it in the crook of my elbow like that. That is how I carry a halter. And when I go to catch the horse, you'll see why that is the most efficient way to have your rope ready. What I don't want to do is do this. Now see how that's a circle? Now if I put the halter on that horse and something happens and it pulls back, all of a sudden there's a circle around my arm and I might get dragged. I'm in trouble. So it's important with this bit of rope that I just drop it across like that, okay? So when I come to here, I rub with this hand first. So I go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm ready to go there and come to here and bring that hand to here. Bring it over, I come through like that, and I put this hand here and hold it, and I go around the back towards the head and through there. It's important the way you do this, because if you do it the other way and go forwards and come this way, this ends up around their eye, which I don't want. It's very important when you come down and around the back. You don't go up. The reason is, if you go up like that, if I pull on that, see how far it runs? And all of a sudden my halter's all too loose. This pad here, it's like folded in half and then stitched together. So they're always going to go like that because that protects that section, all right? So it's not going to go like this. And I like to put the fold at the open bit at the back and the fold at the front. So the fold is across the front. Then I can move it back. And I want to make sure it's not sort of like this, because that'll cause pressure and a rub spot. And I check it's even, because I don't want it to be like that or like this sort of thing. I want to make sure that it's even. Now, because horse's hair goes that way, if it's not in the right spot, I would rather it further forwards than too far back. The reason being, if I need to adjust it, it's going with the hair. When the horse has a bigger spring in the ribs, it keeps the saddle in place. This sort of shaped horse, I'd be looking at him and thinking, right, he's fairly slim through here, so I'd like a breastplate on him when I'm going to ride him so that the saddle doesn't slide back. The way I put these saddles on is a little differently to the poly saddles. What I do with these, I hold them like this and I just swing them on. I just swing it up and over and onto the horse. And it's a bit like putting your hat on. When you put your hat on, you don't sort of sneak it on, you don't slam it on, you just put it on. I go like this and I just swing it back and on. So I come here, now I've got this all organised, it's all hooked up here. I've got the main girth and the back girth and the breastplate all hooked up onto this thing here. It's all together, it's all organised. And all I need to do is undo it. You don't want that folded back like that. You've got to make sure that that's all good. Because this breastplate is a loop breastplate, it means I've got to feed the girth through it before I put the ladder go on it. So all I need to do is just to feed that back like that, and that's ready to go, okay? Now I'm going to just rub, grab my girth, okay, and just hold it lightly. Now I'm going to reach around here and get my breastplate, make sure it's not twisted. I'm going to put this through his legs, feed that through there, like so. So I can just get this and tuck that through here, and watch, I can just pull on it, and through it goes. I always go 1 through once, twice, 3 times. And then I just pull it up a little. Now, if this horse was to buck now, that saddle would stay there, okay? Because if you watch this, if I pull on this, see, it won't slide, because I've got it's through 3 times. 1, 2, and there's the 3rd one. And you can put the pin through the hole like so, and then I can just tuck that up through there. If that's not long enough, I can always tuck it through here, like that, okay? It's all neat and it's out of the road. What's left to do is to finish off doing my breastplate. This is the last thing to do here. Put that through there. So let's have a look and see how this fits. I'll come around here. Well, that's not too bad. You can see I can get my hands behind it. So that's fine. Now the back girth doesn't need to be as tight as the front girth, but if you have it down like this and you're riding around and then something happens and you're doing something fast and all of a sudden that comes up like that and grabs him under the belly like that and gives him a surprise, then you might get a surprise. And I wouldn't have it any looser than that, but I wouldn't have it any tighter than that. I can still get my fingers in here. Most bits you find are a bar bit. If someone was to pull too hard on one rein, as they pull on this rein and pulls it, this is against the cheek and you won't pull the bit through the mouth. Because if you have a ring bit, what can happen is if someone pulls too hard on one rein, what can happen is this ring on this side can pivot and come through the mouth. That's the purpose of this keeper underneath. It helps keep this ring straight and doesn't allow it to roll and come through the mouth. This bit should not be used in any circumstances. It's very thin, it's very savage. It's what I would call a good excuse for bad hands. By that I mean, if you're not a good enough rider and you've got bad hands and you're rough with your hands and you can't get your horse to stop, so you put a sharper bit on to try to make it stop. That's just not on. You need to learn to be a better rider. Now the way I put the bridle on, so one hand's here, and I'm going to get this, I'm going to put the nose through here, like that, okay? So I'm going to put the nose through here, and you can see the bit's actually slightly under her jaw, like that. Now I'm going to switch and put this hand up at the top, okay? And then I'm ready to put that on. Now when I go and get the bit, what I do is I put my little finger and my thumb behind the bit, and I place it into her mouth. Now, this thumb, if required, if she refuses to open her mouth up, then I can use this thumb in the corner of her mouth here to help open the mouth up. So if I put my finger in here, see how they tend to open the mouth. Now as far as getting worried about getting your finger bitten, horses' teeth, the front teeth finish about there and the back teeth don't start till about there. So there's a gap through there where it's just gum and there's no contact, they can't bite your finger. I can put my finger in there and she can't bite my finger. Okay? And that's why the bit works, because the bit goes not where the teeth are, it goes through that gap. So, I've got my bridle organised. Hand here, nose through the middle like that, and I just lift it a little so that the nose is in through there. I switch, put my hand up through between her ears, and then I get my hand like that, grab the bit, like that, and then I'm just going to place it into her mouth like this, and then this hand comes here and pushes that ear forwards, like that, and the other ear I just go backwards across it like that. And then I get the hair and I just arrange it so it's not all tied up. Now, where this bit's sitting here, to me, is pretty close to spot on. You can see that there's a little bit of play there. So it's not too tight, it's not jammed up like that. See how that's pulled right up and it's really tight? That's too tight. But if she was looser, that's too loose. See how that's flopping around and there's a huge gap. I can get my finger in between there, that's too loose, okay? There's too much play there, that can rattle around and clatter in the teeth and annoy her.